Hello and welcome to my basic budget Benny guide. Bennett, in theory, is the easiest character in Genshin Impact to build, but I still get a ton of questions about how best to build him. There's a couple of reasons for this. First one being his kit. When you look through his skills, his burst, he looks like a buffer healer, but when you look at how most meta-focused people build him and how most guides say to build him, it's all look very damage-focused. The second problem I think people have is with this skill right here. The wording on some of the bits of his burst are a little bit confusing. Specifically, they gain an attack bonus that is based on Bennett's base attack. Most people don't seem to fully understand what base attack is. Base attack is this white number right here, 214. Now this is a combination of the attack that Bennett gains from leveling up combined with the base attack stat of his weapon. But to keep it simple, that white number there, it's what the buff is based on. The green part in here is the amount of attack he's gaining from his artifacts. And then the attack stat on this screen is the combination of those two numbers. When you're building your Bennett and you want to see how much of a buff he's going to be giving you, don't look at this 610. Go into details and look at the white number here. Hopefully that's plain, simple razor speak for you, and that's cleared up that confusion. So, on with the building. The main thing to know about Bennett for a simple, universal build is that his entire kit revolves around his burst. This means while you're trying to conserve resources and you're not wanting to put everything all into one character just yet, only level his burst. Get it as high as you can, as quick as you can, because that will lead to a bigger buff and more healing. This also makes it really, really simple when it comes to which stats he needs. Your number one priority is energy recharge. No energy means no burst. No burst means no buff. No burst means no healing. So you absolutely need to get a good amount of energy recharge on him. Now, if you want to get complex about it, that number can vary from team to team. But because we're keeping it simple, we're trying to make it universal so you don't have to switch artifacts, etc., etc. You want this number right here at about 200%. 200% for me at least seem to be a really nice middle ground. Some teams it'll be a bit too much. In other teams you might need an extra second or two to get his burst back. But it's a nice round number. First thing is weapons. In my opinion, weapon is more important than his artifacts, since what weapon you're going to use will dictate what artifacts you need to put on him. We'll get the 5 stars out of the way, since this is supposed to be a universal build, but it's worth mentioning these two because some people may have them. They're standard banner weapons. First is Aquila Favonia. It is the highest base attack on a sword in the game. If you want to max out his attack buff, it probably is his best in slot. The second is Skyward Blade. It still has a really high base attack, slightly less than Aquila Favonia, but what you lose in base attack, you gain in energy recharge. It's got 55% energy recharge on it. I would consider this his best in slot because it allows for easier artifact selection. Now, back to accessible Benny. Its best 4-star weapon is craftable, the Sapwood Blade. Unfortunately, you have to complete a large chunk, luckily not all of our world quest in Sumeru to get the plan for it. But this not only has the highest base attack possible on a 4-star sword, but it also has a good chunk of ER. Again, making his artifact selection easier. Now, there are some other options. You have the prototype Rancor, which, when you max it out, has the same base attack as the Sapwood Blade, but you lose the energy recharge. The good thing about the Rancor is you get it for free. It's given to you from adventure rank rewards. I think it's at about 12. I'm not entirely sure about that, but it's given to you really, really early on in the game. So as you're working your way up, level this sword, and by the time you drop a penny from the banner, you have one of his best weapons all ready to go for him. Now, you can use the Iron Sting. It's got a pretty high base attack. It's not quite as high as the Rancor or the Sapwood Blade, but it's pretty high. You'll want it on other characters eventually, so I wouldn't recommend it. Same with the Demon Umbrella. Two other 4-star swords that deserve mentioning are Favonius Sword and Sacrificial Sword. Sacrificial Sword I quite like on him. It kind of leans in a bit more towards his battery potential because it can give you 2 uses of his E. Technically, Favonius is better, but you do have to build a bit of crit on him to be able to get the passive, and it again leans into his pretty insane battery potential. I mean, you can't beat Sapwood on him, so do the quest, get the plan, craft it, done. So, artifacts, simple as can be. Got some extra energy recharge from our weapon, so our Benny is now sitting at a very respectable 155%. There are only 2 sets worth using, and one of them is a very clear favourite. Noblesse oblige. Now, this adds yet another buff to Bennett's already broken burst. When you use burst, all party members' attack is increased by 20% for 12 seconds. So you're going to get this buff every single time. What stats are we going to care about? Well, Bennett's burst not only gives an attack buff, it gives a really, really nice heal. That heal scales off Bennett's max HP. So all we care about on his stats are HP and energy recharge. Energy recharge to make sure his burst is up, HP percent to make the already juicy heals even juicier. So start with his flower, HP, energy recharge. Feather, HP, energy recharge. Sands, HP, energy recharge. HP, energy recharge. Boom. HP, energy recharge. HP, energy recharge. Oh, look at that. 204.5. Perfect. The other artifact set to give an honourable mention is Exile, which also gives a buff for using Bennett's burst. But instead of giving an attack buff, this gives an energy buff to everyone else in the party. So when using an elemental burst, regenerate 2 energy for all party members, excluding the wearer, every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. So you'll be giving your other 3 party members a total of 6 energy. It's nice. It's not great, but it's nice. It works. So there. that is it. Quick, simple, how to build Bennett on a budget. Doesn't have to be complicated. Give him HP percent, energy recharge, give him the sapwood blade, good to go. If this video has helped you in any way, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to get more guides coming in the future, join the Discord linked in the description, and I will see you all in the next one.